Topics include tips in using background, tips in using text, tips in using images. Microsoft PowerPoint is a very useful tool in presenting your reports. It can also be used as visual aid in your seminars and other speaking engagements as a student and in the future. However, there are certain tips that you must take note in order to create effective PowerPoint presentations. There are several factors that you must consider in creating your presentations. According to Jessie H. Baer, writer of the article Before You Write a Presentation, before getting all caught up in the gee whiz features of PowerPoint, remember that the purpose of a presentation is to present information. Not overwhelm the audience with a demonstration of all the software bells and whistles. There are three elements we need to consider in designing PowerPoint presentations: background, text, and images. Basic tips for background. First tip, contrast is important. When we are writing or typing on a white bond paper, we use dark-colored text. We don't use white ink because then there won't be any sense in writing because we won't be able to see what we're writing. The same is applied to PowerPoint presentations. We use dark text for light background and light text for dark background. Using light text on semi-dark background attracts the eyes to the light on the screen. Second tip, stick with a single background. The background is the stage for your information. Set the stage and leave it alone. However, if you change the background, it signals the change of subject. Basic tips for using text. First tip, do not center bullet points. Instead, use left justified bullet points. Ragged is harder to read and follow with your eyes. Second tip, avoid text overload. Too much text defeats the purpose of the PowerPoint. It looks jumbled and makes slides difficult to read. Therefore, people will try to read or copy everything and then lose interest. To avoid text overload, list only key points, use more slides, and create a handout. Third tip, check your spelling, grammar, punctuation, and word usage to add credibility to the information that you are presenting. Fourth tip, avoid capitalizing all letters. All caps are very hard to read. It is recommended that you capitalize the first letter only. Fifth tip, use simple fonts. As a general rule, the simpler Gothic lettering style is the most legible and recommended for visuals. The fancier a letter style, the less legible it is. Sixth tip, keep type sizes consistent. Seventh tip, properly lay out text. Lay out your text in an easily readable manner. Avoid vertical or circular patterns because they can literally be a pain in the neck. Eighth tip, a slide should not contain more than 6 lines and not more than 6 words per line. Basic tips for using images. First tip, use few good graphics. A few excellent graphics are better than poor ones. Use high-quality images. Avoid using pixelated graphics. Second tip, use images sparingly to complement text to keep the viewers interested. This will also help explain the concepts being discussed. Here are the general guidelines that you have to follow in creating a presentation. First, match design to purpose. Decide if your presentation is meant to entertain, to inform, to persuade, or to sell. Know your audience too. Know their ages, gender, religion, and other basic information about them. This will help you decide what designs to use. Second, keep it simple. As with any design, cut the clutter. Two font families is a good rule of thumb. No more than one graphic image or chart per slide is another good rule. And lastly, be consistent. Use the same colors and fonts throughout. Select graphic images in the same style.